over here, there's no airflow. So these impact craters are all nice circles. Cool. All right, so let me see if I can get through here real quick. Okay. It's weird. It's so wet here. There's not really any dirt. It's all rocks and sand. So in a way, it's like being at the beach, like an ocean cave, except this is salt water. It's fresh water. We're pretty far from the beach. The elevation here, well, we're up in the mountains. Oh, that's funny. There's a green arrow pointing down, showing people a way out. Good to know. All right, well, anyway. Still think it's kind of silly that people would spray paint a beautiful place like this. But, all right. Sure it made sense to them at the time. But yeah, there's a cool indentation up here. So it's not like you're gonna make a wrong turn. Although I am curious, is that a dead end up there, or could you really go through there? Notice how dark it is instead of being covered in the white slime. That tells me it's possible people have been climbing up there. Although it's also possible that it's just water flow that did that. Either way. Yeah, hold on, let me make sure I have good footing here. But up there, look at that, there's a way up there. And this is the way I was trying to climb over and get a view. I was on the other side, but I knew it would be kind of a mess trying to get over. So I decided not to bother. Sometimes I feel like I want to check out every square inch of the cave, but other times I'm like, nah, I'll skip it this time. Then I got a reason to come back next time. Although I usually end up doing the same easy spots over and over and not actually doing the hard parts at all. Now, whatever. It like I said, if you watch my videos, they improve over time. Some of my old ones, the lighting didn't come out very good at all, and there's more motion blur. But if you do bother to compare my old cave videos with my new ones, you'll see, yeah, each one's definitely a little different path. Sometimes I'll keep to the right, sometimes I'll keep to the left, sometimes I'll do just the easy parts, sometimes I'll do as much as I can. Sometimes the cave is wet, sometimes the cave is dry. Look at this. People have been writing on the walls here in their fingers. That's a really bad habit. It's not technically damage. It'll grow back. But look at some of these dates. Some of these dates, 1987. This is 2022. So that's been there 40 years and it's still clear. So that's an idea of how long that is going to last. I'd rather it stay natural. Because if you look up here, where nobody's ever touched it, I think that's a lot prettier, especially with the mixture of colors there. Wow. But everybody wants to make their mark. In the olden days, before you could take pictures and videos to prove they did it, they wanted to write their name at the end. Sort of the equivalent of Kilroy was here, but with their real name instead of Kilroy. I've heard different stories about Kilroy. I don't know if anybody's established whether there really was a Kilroy or not. One version I heard is that Kilroy was like a ship inspector, and he did it so fast that people didn't believe he was really doing it. So everywhere he inspected, he wrote his name. Kilroy was here to prove he really was there inspecting. That's a plausible version, except I don't know if people are allowed to write in ships like that or not. Seems to me if he really did that, he'd get in trouble for doing it. Probably depends on the commander too. Maybe the commander thought it was a neat idea. Alrighty then. this cave, it's not the longest cave, but it's definitely long enough. And because the entrance is at one end instead of the middle, well, if you want to see the whole thing, you have to do it all at once. It's not like you could do the top half one day and the bottom half another day or something like that. If the, like Ape Cave, the lower entrance is about 1/3 of the way up. So they give you 2 hours to either do the lower end, which is really easy and you'll have plenty of time to do it in 2 hours, or the upper end, which they won't let you make the return trip. If you do the upper end, you go in the lower entrance, you have to come out the upper entrance. So you see everything just once from one angle. Okay, now the cave's getting fun, just a little bit. There's those dots again. Notice that there's actual puddles here. I don't think I've ever come here in the winter before, not recently. I don't think there's anything alive in here. I haven't heard. Look at those dark spots. I don't know if that's natural or that's where, oh yeah, looks like they cleaned up graffiti. As you can see, if somebody just painted arrows, that's like historic graffiti. Nobody's gonna clean that up. But if somebody comes in there with graffiti, spray paint, and does a picture, writes their name, one, that's a federal crime. And two, yeah, somebody's eventually gonna clean it up. Because nobody wants to see that garbage. Notice how very uneven the floor is here. Very. This rock is wet. It's actually not as smooth and as slippery as I expected. I'm not really having any trouble getting the friction I need. Of course, I got experience, and my shoes aren't as bad. So that's one reason I don't wear boots. My boots are even worse. My boots keep my feet warm and dry, but they have terrible traction. It's funny, they're hiking boots too. You'd think hiking boots. Oh man, my flashlight just glitched. Let me make sure my flashlight's working good enough. All right, there's the highest setting. Let me take a look around as long as I'm here. Here's a dead end. I have to go down again. This isn't hard. And there's the way I came. As you can see, it's not particularly dangerous. Just got to watch your head. If you're in a group, definitely stay together and watch out for each other. Don't be insulted if somebody gives you a hint how to watch out. It's not a good place to be macho and cool, pretend you don't need help. If somebody wants to help, let them. So it's good to do small practice caves with people. Keep going caving with the same people so you get practice. You know what kind of help everybody needs and wants, and what kind of help they don't need and don't want. For one thing, do you want to do social distancing, or do you want to keep close enough together you can actually help each other? Everybody, well, pretty much everybody I know, fully vaccinated against COVID-19. A lot of people even have the rabies vaccine, so I'm not gonna worry about staying 6 feet. But the thing is, if you're going through a place like this,